Hi everyone, welcome. I am MisterBo, and in this video I'll be showing you how you can get a free RAI K-84. That is the brand new wonder weapon in the new DLC map Firebase Z. So there are a few steps in order to actually build this weapon and get it for free instead of trying to get it from the box or through the different trial challenges. So the first thing you'll want to do is make sure you have the power on. In order to do this, you need to activate the 3 different Aether reactors around the map. I have done a guide on that as well as the Pack-a-Punch, so if you're not entirely sure, check out that video. There's a card in the top right hand corner now. But once you've got that power up and running, you need to head to the weapons lab. Now this can be located from the right of Tombstone. So Tombstone is at the helipad, and if you take a right and head all the way down into the bunker, you'll find yourself in the weapon lab. So you'll then want to walk up to the workbench and you'll see there is a blueprint on the wall that you can go ahead and pick up for the RAI K-84. Now once you have this blueprint, we're going to need an eye so we can access that computer that is also in the weapon lab. So we need to head down to the Scorched Defense. So again, from the helipad in the middle of the map by Tombstone, go ahead, go straight down forwards, follow where I go up these stairs and then down to this sort of defense area. Now if you follow to where I go, you'll be able to see there is a dead zombie body by this tank. And if you walk up to it and hold X, you'll then go into an animation where you basically rip the eye out of this zombie. I'm going to fast forward it for this video because it does take a while. But once you have that eye, it'll pop up saying you've collected it and you'll also get some audio. And we can then head back to the weapon lab and we can place that into the computer. Now placing the eye into the computer will actually open up the drawer below it, which will contain a locker key. Now with that locker key, we want to head to the barracks. Now there's barracks 1 and there's barracks 2. These are located literally just right next to the Tombstone perk. Now in each of these barracks rooms, you'll find lockers next to each of these beds. Now you can go up and you can open a locker, and you might be wondering why nothing comes out of them. Well, every time you open up a locker, it usually spawns a mimic zombie. Now what you want to do is you want to open these lockers up, have the mimic zombies spawn in, and then kill the mimic zombies and hope that one of them drops the next part that you need, which is the barrel assembly. Now with the barrel assembly, we can head back to the weapon lab. Now you want to go back up to the computer, and I would highly suggest you have someone else in your game because it can be a bit hard to look at this screen whilst you have a zombie with you. And as you can see, there is a radar on screen. Now the radar is split up into 20 sections and you'll see it go through these different 20 sections. You'll need to memorize which section of the radar this actually goes to because that correlates to a dartboard which is located in the village. Now it will be 3 numbers. It'll slowly go around, land on a section of the radar, then it will go back to another section and then finally to the 3rd number. So once you've memorized that, you can head back to the village, which is the spawn location, and just by the Pack-a-Punch machine and the Wonder Fizz perk, you'll notice there is the dartboard on the wall. So using the code that you've just got, you then need to shoot the numbers that correspond to it. So for instance, my radar went to number 13, number 2, and then back to 13. So I count round the dartboard 13 times, and that puts me onto number 16. I then shoot that. I then go back and I shoot number 18 because that corresponds to number 2 from the radar. And then again, it landed back on 13, so I shot 16 again. Now once you've shot those 3 combinations, you can then shoot the bullseye in the middle of the dartboard, and that will open up and give you the Ethereum Converter. This is probably the trickiest step out of everything here. It can be super hard to do on your own because the radar does take a long time to show you what the number is, and if you've got a zombie on you, it's pretty hard to take care of both at the same time, so I would recommend maybe using Aether Shroud. Now we have that part, the next bit is basically a waiting game. So we need to now kill a mangler zombie and hope that it drops the final part for us. Now mangler zombies usually spawn around round 15, round 16, so you'll need to get up to those kind of round numbers in order for him to appear. But once you do kill him, you have a chance for him to drop the next part you need. Unfortunately, when I was doing this, we had to kill around 3 or 4 manglers before the part actually dropped, but hopefully you'll get luckier than I did, and hopefully the mangler will drop the uncharged power cell. Now with the uncharged power cell, we then need to head back to the weapon lab. Now in the weapon lab, depending on which side of the room you come into, there is this table with sort of a nuke on it. You need to go ahead and put the power cell on that table and it will start charging. Now for me, it took around 2 rounds for this thing to charge. You don't need to kill zombies by it or anything like that, it just needs to sit there and charge for a certain amount of time, so continue on with the rounds. When you come back in here and it's fully charged, it'll then be glowing gold and it will say it's a charged power cell. You can then go ahead and pick it up, turn around and head back to that initial workbench where we picked up the blueprint, and you'll be able to build yourself the RAI K-84. You can either then pick it up or your teammate can pick it up. And there you have it. It's as simple as that. Now, unlike the die machine in the previous map, this weapon can actually be pack-a-punched up to 3 times, and I would highly recommend pack-a-punching this thing because it's an absolute beast into the later rounds. Me and my teammate managed to get to round 35 and even exfil with this weapon. It is that good. And it also has 2 different types of fire mode. It has your regular fire mode that you're seeing on screen here now, and then it also has this big shot that you can fire out into a crowd of zombies. It'll kind of suck them in a bit and then blow up, killing a load of them at once. Personally, this is probably one of my favorite wonder weapons we've had in quite some time. Now, when it is pack-a-punched, it is called the Discordian Disruptor. So there you have it. That is how you get the RAI K-84. Again, I highly recommend getting this, and I would recommend doing this with other people in your game because it can be a little bit tricky in certain spots. If you are having a problem with getting this weapon, you're stuck on a step, feel free to leave a comment and I'll try my best to help you out. If you did find this guide helpful, then consider clicking that like button, and if you're not already, then consider subscribing as well for more gaming content and coverage. You can also follow me over on Twitter at @IamMisterBo, but apart from all of that, thank you very much for watching and for hanging out with me. I do super appreciate it. Hopefully I will catch you in some future content, but until then, as always, make sure you take care.